Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Fong. So you said, would you please advise if I post my speaking in VoxyPop, is it possible to get the comments from you or from one of the specialists in your team? I do see feedback to some members, but not all. Also, the same question for writing practice, how to get advice in speaking and writing. You should be getting it. So maybe I'm having some problems with one of my workers. The main thing is, if you post a response in my VoxyPop group, I typically will get to it within about 24 hours. Right? So here's what you want to do. If there is make sure, number one, you're posting your responses at the right page. Okay, let me double check that really fast. So my VoxyPop page, I have several VoxyPop pages, but the one that you want to post your responses at, it'll say at the very top, it'll say the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. It'll say online TOEFL course. It says this is a taught group for paying subscribers. This is the one that you want to be posting your responses at. So I see that you posted, it looks like which city would you choose. You will get that practice test scored. It will be scored hopefully today. So if I take a look at, if I go back a little bit, you'll see one of my workers, his name's Nathan, and he scores things typically in the evenings, and sometimes during the day I also listen and score some of the practice tests, but I will take care of it. So if you have a practice test that has not been scored, it looks like you have one from one day ago, which is who would you like to go on a trip abroad with, and I think Nathan will get to that today. If he doesn't, send me a quick email and I will remind him later on to make sure that he scores that. Now secondly, remember, when you do a writing practice test, let's go back to the site for just a minute. There are some instructions directly at the website that show you what to do when you do a practice test. I have two different workers who help me score my writing practice test. So what you want to do is to make sure you follow these instructions exactly. Okay, so let's go to a practice test in writing. So you'll notice when you get to one, let's go to number 1 for just a minute. So it says Independent Writing 1. You click on that, and before you do it, it says here, when you have completed this practice test, email me at mbuckoff@aol.com. Subject line, Independent Writing Practice Test, and then say in the message, Michael, I just completed Independent Writing Practice Test number 1. Please evaluate it ASAP. Thank you. Put your username ID, your last name, and your first name. Now what I do is I'll typically email this to one of my workers if I'm too busy to score it myself, but you will get your practice test scored. I promise you. I guarantee you will, right? So please just do what you're doing, contact me, and I'll make sure I can solve those problems. Alrighty?